Gigi and Zayn have been a Hollywood power couple since they started dating in 2015. Some have even claimed they are the modern day Brangelina. But it's well known there's been a lot of bumps in the road for the couple that has led to their relationship being on and off again. As of now, the pair are separated following Zayn's altercation with Gigi's mother Yolanda. And today I wanted to get into the history of their tumultuous relationship. Before Gigi and Zayn got together, Zayn was engaged to Little Mix star Perry Edwards. Gigi was also in another relationship, and she was dating Joe Jonas at the time. But coincidentally, both Gigi and Zayn decided to end their relationships with their partners in mid-November. Then only 3 months later, Gigi and Zayn were officially an item. After Zayn broke up with Perry, a source said, quote, "He just wanted to move on and start over in all ways." Joe Jonas also broke his silence on the new couple, saying, quote, "I think it's interesting that she moved on so quickly. I mean, it was definitely very quick." So even Joe thought something fishy was going on at the time, and a lot of people thought there was overlap between the relationships. Then later in 2016, reports surfaced that Zayn had cheated on Gigi. I guess the old saying how you get 'em is how you lose 'em applies here. It was exposed when a video of the singer with a mystery woman resurfaced. The woman then came forward and said that the video was released without her permission. Then DMs were leaked between her and Zayn, proving that they had a relationship. In the messages, Zayn called the woman gorgeous, along with having other conversation. But this didn't hurt Zayn's reputation, and fans just figured it was all made up for clout. But then it was exposed later that Zayn did actually cheat on Gigi in the past, once when the couple was on a break. It's the old Ross and Rachel conundrum. Is it cheating if you were on a break? Let me know below. I personally think yes. This happened in March of 2018. Apparently Zayn hooked up with a 41-year-old masseuse while he was on and off again with Gigi. The woman later said about the hookup, quote, "He made me feel special, but after a while I realized he was just using me." After this scandal, Gigi and Zayn got back together once again. The couple stayed together and welcomed their daughter Kai in 2020. But following the altercation Zayn had with Yolanda Hadid, the couple have split once again. A source exclusively told Us Weekly that, quote, "It's much better that they are separated." According to the insider, Gigi and Zayn had a very destructive relationship when they were together romantically. The source added that the couple split up again in 2019, but got back together in January of 2020, and Gigi got pregnant 3 months later. After giving birth to Kai in September of 2020, things were going really well for the couple, and they were appreciating every moment of parenthood. Apparently Zayn had trouble working out the family dynamic at first, but got really comfortable with Gigi's family sometime after. The source even said at that time Zayn was taking mom's side in arguments and growing a good bond with the family. But then only a few months after that glowing description in that article, Zayn was charged with 4 criminal offenses of after an alleged altercation with Gigi's mother Yolanda. According to this lawsuit, Zayn, quote, "shoved Yolanda into a dresser, causing mental anguish and physical pain after calling Yolanda a, quote, effing Dutch s***." At the time of the altercation, Gigi was not home, but she came back immediately from Paris Fashion Week. Zayn pled no contest to the charges, but later said in a statement that he adamantly denied Yolanda's claims. As of now, Zayn has been fined for the incident and is on probation for 360 days. He will have to complete anger management classes, a domestic violence program, and he can't have any contact with Yolanda or a security guard who was on the premises. Zayn also released a long statement on Twitter where he said he wanted to keep legal matters private for the sake of his child, even insinuating that Yolanda leaked the story to the press. As of now, the couple has split up and is speaking with lawyers about the custody of their daughter Kai. Sources have made it clear that Gigi still wants Zayn in the child's life.
Johnny Depp has been handed a massive win in court as a judge agrees to give him access to Amber Heard's phone records. In doing this, Johnny Depp's legal team hopes to prove that Amber Heard faked her injuries when she took this alleged incident to the police. Right now, Johnny Depp is waging a $50 million libel suit against Amber Heard, and in doing so, his legal team claimed that she had doctored the photos presented to police. The photos in question are the ones where she appears to have 2 black eyes, which she claims were a result of a 2015 incident with Johnny Depp. Depp's lawyer Benjamin Chu said in a court filing, Ms. Heard's counsel has repeatedly used these phony photographs at deposition, and back in 2019, Amber had written an op-ed piece for the Washington Post where she spoke about domestic violence. Despite not mentioning Johnny Depp's name in the article, she later claimed that she suffered 2 black eyes, a broken nose, and a busted lip after Depp attacked her in Los Angeles. However, Depp's lawyer countered and said that when the LAPD had arrived at the home, they found no injury upon Ms. Heard and saw no sign of disruption in the penthouse. Chu also alleged further in his filing, Ms. Heard and her friends then fabricated the photos that she used to obtain an ex parte TRO, temporary restraining order, and a $7 million divorce settlement, which Ms. Heard falsely testified in London she gave to the ACLU and more scandalously to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles sick children with cancer. The LAPD also disavowed the photos that were submitted because they said that it did not depict what they had actually saw. Now, this Virginia court is allowing Depp's legal team to get an expert that can actually take a look at Amber's phone and try to find evidence of any photo tampering. The earlier images that were submitted could also not be properly verified because they came without any metadata, which made it harder for their expert Brian Neumeister to verify the details of the photo. Benjamin Chu goes on to speak about this in the court filing and says, Mr. Neumeister's preliminary investigation shows that a number of the photographs have been run through a photo editing application called Photo 3 that can easily manipulate images such as showing bruises where none actually existed. Back in November of 2020, Johnny Depp lost his libel case against the Sun newspaper in the UK. This court battle was over a disparaging article they printed about him, and in the ruling by Judge Nicol, he said that the Sun had proved their article to be substantially true, which was based on them finding that 12 of the 14 alleged incidents of domestic violence had actually occurred. But in this new finding, Depp's legal team argued that the Sun's own expert had said that the photos presented by Amber were manipulated 3 years after the original incident. He went on to say that this expert had found that the photos were from an iPad Pro 10.5 and were created either on or after October 6, 2018, saying that any editing of the trial bundle versions would have been on or after October 6, 2018. He then claims, so Ms. Heard or someone on her behalf doctored those photographs 3 years later. When that came up in her testimony in London, Ms. Heard falsely denied it. In short, Your Honor, without forensic imaging, Mr. Neumeister cannot properly assess or verify Ms. Heard's data. There was something else here that he mentioned which also struck me as odd, and I don't know if we've actually covered this before, but Amber Heard appeared on the James Corden show the day after this alleged attack happened. She later said that she wore heavy makeup to hide the bruising, but Depp's lawyer said that Amber was trying to masquerade as a victim instead of the attacker. In this same filing for Amber to turn over her phone, the judge also denied the notion that Depp should have to hand over his phone records and laptop, mainly because Amber Heard's attorney had asked for too broad of a search at the time. If you recall, earlier this year, Johnny Depp had lost his case and the appeal for his high court libel ruling. The judge sided with the Sun newspaper, who deemed their article on Depp to be substantially true. Now, months removed from that loss, Johnny Depp has finally scored a massive win against Amber Heard. A couple days ago, we informed you that the producer for Aquaman 2 said that he was not going to be giving in to social pressures to remove Amber Heard from the film, despite many fans of Johnny Depp calling Warner Bros. Out for their double standards. Well, now they may have to second guess that decision because boy oh boy is Amber Heard going to be in trouble real soon. If you remember, she vowed to donate her $7 million divorce settlement to the ACLU and the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. And according to Depp's lawyer Andrew Caldicott, he said that the donation was a calculated and manipulative lie that tipped the scales against Johnny Depp from the very beginning. Depp's legal team has now filed a petition with the New York Supreme Court to force the ACLU to hand over official documents to prove that Amber's donation was indeed real. Not that long ago, the organization refused to cooperate, but with the judge ruling in favor of 23 out of the 24 requests in the motion to compel, they're legally going to have to cough up the receipts. The only request that the judge denied was for documents pertaining to Amber's sudden role as a brand ambassador for the ACLU, which, if you think about it, makes sense. Most likely the reason why the ACLU didn't want to cooperate with showing the donation receipts is because they just made this lady their brand ambassador. I mean, how bad would they look if they just made her a brand ambassador and then she gets exposed for lying about donating to the charity that she promised she would donate to? That's like Lance Armstrong getting caught doping and then having to step down from the Livestrong Foundation. Because when I first heard that the ACLU didn't want to cooperate, it really baffled me. But now that I see they've denied the motion to investigate her being a brand ambassador, their actions make a lot more sense. In this recent ruling in Depp's favor, the judge said that Johnny Depp's legal team had satisfied their initial burden of stating the circumstances of reasons underlying the necessity for the subpoena. The judge went on to say in a statement, thus for the reasons stated herein, the petition is granted and denied in part, and respondents are ordered to comply with all subpoenas with the exception of documents pertaining to Ms. Heard's role as brand ambassador for the ACLU. According to Amber Heard's witness statement earlier this year, she claimed to have remained financially independent from Depp the entire time that they were together, which is why she was so adamant that the money from the divorce would be going to charity. And you know what? I honestly believe that it was entirely possible for Amber to have been financially independent throughout this relationship. What I don't believe though was her claim to have donated the entire settlement to charity, which is a big deal to lie about. Not only is it morally reprehensible to take money that you promised to a children's hospital, but it also means that people in the courtroom were manipulated into thinking that she was this super charitable person. At the end of the day though, we will just have to wait and see what this subpoena brings about. I'm calling it now though. If she is found to have lied about the donations and the ACLU can't even bring up legit receipts
receipts, then it could be game over for Amber Heard's acting career. The backlash that Warner Bros. Would get after bombshell news like that would be almost too much to bear for them. Even as much as the producer likes to say that he won't cave to public pressure, that's not entirely up to him. There are so many studio executives in Hollywood that are terrified of that public pressure, and rightfully so. This is a story that people are not going to forget about for a very long time.
After DaBaby performed at Rolling Loud on July 25th, he was swiftly cancelled online for homophobic comments he made during his set. But he's come back into mainstream attention thanks to Dave Chappelle, and many celebrities are now coming out in support of the rapper. So in between songs during Rolling Loud, DaBaby spoke to the crowd, telling them, quote, "If you don't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexual transmitted disease that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up." Then going on to make derogatory homophobic comments, making it clear that his comments were taking aim at the LGBT+ community. Following the comments, DaBaby was dropped by many sponsors and collaborators, as well as being booted from festivals he was scheduled to perform at. But recently he is back in the news because other celebrities are speaking out about the unfair cancellation of the rapper. Most notably was Dave Chappelle. In his special The Closer, Chappelle shared his thoughts on the cancellation. He then went on to talk about DaBaby's past, revealing that the rapper shot and killed someone at a Walmart in North Carolina, but it didn't hinder his career in any way. DaBaby has spoken about this incident in the past and says the shooting was done for self-defense. Chappelle then compared it to DaBaby's treatment after his homophobic comments. Chappelle said, quote, "DaBaby shot and killed a man in a Walmart in North Carolina. Nothing bad happened to his career. Do you see where I'm going with this? In our country, you can shoot and kill a man, but you better not hurt a gay person's feelings." It's all pretty much tongue-in-cheek, but Chappelle definitely thinks that the severe cancellation that DaBaby faced was not deserved. 50 Cent agreed and posted the clip of Chappelle to his Instagram with the caption, quote, "Dave Chappelle is a funny mother effer. That was flawless. Hip-hop loves things that are damaged. That's the beauty of the culture. DaBaby is on a new path. Music has changed everything. LOL." Shortly after the comedy special brought DaBaby back into the forefront, rapper Fat Joe shared his own thoughts on DaBaby, controversially comparing him to Tupac. During an appearance on BET's Rap City special, Joe was asked to name the 2021 versions of some of rap's past legends. When the host asked Joe to name his 2021 version of Tupac, Joe shockingly responded with DaBaby. He said, quote, "I should know the Tupac one. I don't know. It's hard to be these guys. You're asking some crazy stuff. I would say DaBaby." After his comments, many in the rap community did not agree and felt that DaBaby should not be compared to the GOAT that is Tupac. Fat Joe responded to the controversy on Twitter, writing, quote, "No one's Tupac, there's only one, but I was asked the question and DaBaby is a super real one. He lives what he raps about." But these two are not the only celebrities coming out in the defense of DaBaby. Rapper Boosie Badass also came to the support of DaBaby. The rapper recently sat down with Vlad TV for an interview where he spoke extensively about DaBaby. Following DaBaby's controversial comments, Boosie defended DaBaby and continued to do so in the recent talk. Boosie explained that DaBaby was booked to perform at Boosie Bash since last year, so the timing of the controversy was coincidental. But there was a brief time that Boosie was worried that DaBaby would cancel his set. Boosie said, quote, "I was calling him for like a month and he wouldn't answer, but I knew he's going through a lot of shit, but he finally answered and he came through for me like a real one, he really did," saying that the rapper has a lot of character to still perform at the festival with all he was going through at that time. Boosie also said that when he heard festivals were dropping DaBaby, he was pissed, adding, quote, "I was pissed at them because I just felt like they were trying to teach him a lesson for the next big rapper that's on top like this. If you ever do this, this is what's gonna happen to you, and he did nothing. I think it was a setup, he did nothing," even adding that the industry bullied DaBaby.
An Instagram account is claiming to be Tristan Thompson's new baby mama, and needless to say, Khloe Kardashian is not happy about it. Recently, the couple made headlines after news broke that a personal trainer by the name of Marley Nichols was pregnant with Tristan's baby. After making the news public through her Instagram story, she also shared some leaked text messages between herself and Tristan. According to People magazine, Thompson is also being sued by Nichols for child support and pregnancy-related fees after she says they conceived a child together in March. Nichols apparently gave birth to the baby boy last week, according to her representation. In one of the text messages from Tristan to Nichols, he says, "You know how I feel. My feelings haven't changed at all. Won't be involved at all. By the way, if you think having this baby is gonna make you some money, it's completely wrong. You are aware that I'm retiring after this season. So in terms of support, it will be whatever is required monthly for someone who's unemployed. It's Texas, so it will be only a couple $100s. So you better off taking this $75K I'm offering because you won't get nothing near that with having a kid with a father who's unemployed. All you will have is a baby with a father who has zero involvement with the child and a few $100 $500 of child support a month. He even just recently had this lawsuit sealed after requesting a gag order to prevent Nichols from engaging with the media any further. However, Khloe Kardashian knows about the baby and she was not pleased to hear about it. A source exclusively told Us Weekly amid the scandal, "This is a very sad time for Khloe. She really loves Tristan and still held a candle for him. She thought he might have changed his ways. Khloe now knows that Tristan was unfaithful to her when they were back together." In court documents obtained by the press, Thompson admitted to cheating on Khloe with Nichols and that he ordered genetic testing back in July before filing an amended petition in Texas last month, once again asking for a paternity test. As per the court documents, Marley also claims that her relationship with the NBA star began at least 5 months before his 30th birthday in March and continued throughout her pregnancy. This is Tristan's third child with another woman, and according to People magazine, Khloe has just decided to move on. The source speaking with People magazine goes on to say, "Khloe's moving on. Tristan and Khloe have been broken up for a while, and things are okay between them." The insider then added that they both are just focused on co-parenting their 3-year-old daughter. In August, many people were shocked because about 2 months after their other breakup, rumors were circulating again that Khloe was taking Tristan back, and so of course the internet expressed their opinions on how they truly felt about this, with one user writing, "At this point, Khloe Kardashian has no self-worth. Anyway, I can't believe they tagged her in that." However, Khloe quickly responded to that and said, "You're telling me you made an assessment about my life because of a random blog? I think that says more about you than it does about me." And this prompted E! News to report that despite blog rumors, Khloe and Tristan were not back together. A source then added, "They are telling people they aren't back together but have been hanging out pretty often with True. Apparently she wants him around and they talk every day, and despite everything, Khloe has forgiven him for what he's done and would rather just be on good terms with him." Her friends though had apparently been encouraging her over and over again to not take Tristan back after his multiple cheating scandals. They also believe she only remained close with him because she always believed that he would change one day. However, as it turns out, once a cheater, always a cheater. Recently, Kylie Jenner fans took to TikTok to express how furious they were with her new line of swimwear. Many people harped on how the material felt weak and how the stitching was already coming apart when they opened their delivery. Hundreds of Kylie Jenner fans blasted her swimwear line on TikTok, claiming that not only were the suits of poor quality, but many of them had major sizing issues. Not to mention they were being sold for $80 per item. $80 for poor stitching, paper-thin see-through fabric, and ultimately items that weren't sized properly. One TikTok user said that she had purchased all of the one pieces from the collection and was shocked that every single piece did not meet her expectations. She goes on to say, "I got an XL on this one, didn't go over hips, see-through." And the TikTok has been viewed over 630,000 times, liked by more than 35,000 people, and filled with comments like this one that say, "Return them all, she could have done way better," with another adding a more interesting point saying, "I mean, they all could be from Shein as far as we know." And if you don't know Shein, they're essentially a fast fashion site, so the prices are typically very low because of the poor quality that you're receiving in return, and on top of that, they've been accused of stealing from smaller designers before. They're basically Fashion Nova's direct competitor. The reason I bring this up is because in the past, Kylie has been known to have some eerily similar connections with her merch and other companies. For example, the scandal with her and ColourPop. When she released Kylie Cosmetics, her gloss collection sold out in minutes despite the multiple controversies surrounding her manufacturing process. As fans were hunting for cheaper alternatives to Kylie's lip gloss, they stumbled across ColourPop Cosmetics, and the similarities between the two products were very noticeable. During an exclusive interview with Refinery29, the ColourPop founder shed some light on why their formula was essentially the same as Kylie's. The duo that created ColourPop also created this company called Seed Beauty. Seed Beauty works as an umbrella company where in their laboratory they create cosmetic formulas for ColourPop as well as private label products. Kylie Jenner was brought into the Seed family as part of what they called an incubation program. She would have complete creative control over her product, but she could also use the lab and their company's existing resources. So perhaps the same thing has happened with her new line of swimwear. As I mentioned in my last video, I really doubt that she is on the ground floor of the factory watching them sew every pair. It's most likely the same thing that happened with her lip gloss. She probably just went to a company, gave them some ideas of what she wanted. She doesn't need advertising, just her own Instagram feed, and boom, within a matter of time, her designs are up and ready to buy. It's also the problem with purchasing merch from influencers and celebrities though. You're really only buying it because they are telling you that it's the hot new thing to own, or because you have some idea in your mind that you'll become just like them if you buy their clothes. Chances are they had almost no hand in choosing the quality of their product. They may have designed the logo or the style, but when it comes to quality, there are very few celebrities and influencers that are on the ground floor making sure that all of their products are of the highest quality, which you would think would be the case based on what she's charging for these swimsuits. Alas, it just doesn't work that way. If you're going to buy something from an influencer, I would recommend doing just a little bit of research into the product, or at least checking out some reviews to make sure that it's money well spent. As for scamming her fans, I think her fans feel like they might have gotten scammed by this, but I don't believe Kylie had intentions of scamming her fans. I mean, why would she do that? That would be insane for her to knowingly produce clothing with awful quality to make a quick buck.
I really did not think that Kanye West would leak Drake's address before he even put out his Donda album, but here we are. Drake has dropped Kanye's name several times in his songs, but now it seems as though Kanye is finally firing back. I really thought Kanye would become more calm after leaving the Kardashian family, but it seems as though he is back to his meddling ways. After he cleaned out his Instagram page, he simply posted a photo of his childhood home, but the second photo he released was a screenshot from a group chat. In this group chat, you can see that he added Pusha T and then sent the group a photo of Joaquin Phoenix's 2019 Joker character, along with a message that is making a lot of people confused. Some people believe that it's in reference to Drake's diss track that he did about Kanye and Pusha T on Trippie Redd's song called Betrayal. Great song, by the way. Along with that Joker image, Kanye tells the group, "I've been messed with by nerd jocks like you my whole life. You will never recover, I promise you." And many fans were quick to notice that capital D in the list of people that this was sent to, leading us to believe that he is directly calling Drake out in this weird hip-hop Illuminati group chat. However, now Kanye has taken things much further. Kanye West then proceeded to leak Drake's address on his Instagram account. The screenshot had Drake's Toronto house number and street name via Apple Maps, along with its exact pinpoint location on the map. Kanye has removed the post, but it didn't happen fast enough. Let's not forget that Kanye has 7.3 million followers, and there's no way that this went unnoticed. Many of you believe that this isn't a big deal though, because Drake's address has been leaked before, and most people from Toronto already know where Drake lives. But my thing is, regardless of that, it's still not okay to just leak someone's address, because Lord knows how many crazy people that follow Kanye didn't know where Drake lived, and now they have that surprise advantage. Drake already had to file a petition with the city of Toronto to have the walls around his home be higher than what's allowed, because he had so many people trying to break into his house. So now Drake is really going to have to up his security after this leak. Shortly after Kanye did this though, Drake simply put out a video of him laughing while driving his convertible. I mean, what else is he supposed to do in this situation? Kanye is clearly unstable, and if he's willing to do this, and especially after what happened with Pop Smoke, you'd think that people would be more careful. If you don't remember what happened with Pop Smoke, allow me to explain. Pop accidentally revealed his address on Instagram, and the following night people broke into his home and shot him. So let's not act like leaking a celebrity's address isn't a big deal. The beef between these two has been going on for a long time as well. Back in 2018, Kanye went on a Twitter tirade just tweeting about Drake non-stop. I'm guessing he just does this every time he's preparing for a new album drop. Right now, both artists are finishing up their albums, with Drake getting ready to release Certified Lover Boy and Kanye preparing for his Donda drop. So in my honest opinion, I think this is the way that big artists hype up promo for their new releases now. All they have to do is to get into some beefs with some other big artists, and then the fan bases on both sides will go at each other, and then their albums will blow up because they're just waiting to hear who's gonna say what on which song. Back in the day, before Drake was even a megastar or even in the conversation, Kanye did the exact same thing with 50 Cent. Although, like I said earlier, dropping someone's address is far from okay. I don't care if it's already online, that doesn't mean the world already knows about it.
Found of you. Where? Alright, what you wanna know? Y'all, I'm gonna have to end this a little bit early because it's so beautiful. Did anybody feel really black?
18-year-old star Olivia Rodrigo has come under fire for using a black scent and elements of African American vernacular English. These accusations from people on Twitter stem from an old Instagram live video. Now fans are calling on Olivia to address and denounce what she said in this video. Olivia Rodrigo has come up against a number of accusations throughout her budding career. On June 24th, she was accused of plagiarizing the work of Courtney Love, but now she is being accused of blackfishing and trying to sound black in a video. This phrase, referred to as black scent, has trended on social media a lot lately. Traditionally, it's known as African American Vernacular English, or AAVE for short. It often has been misrepresented as simply being a way that Gen Z speaks, with many calling it internet speak. In Olivia's Instagram live video though, she can be heard using phrases like "I be trending" and "we just so emotional." Furious Twitter cancel culture crusaders even dug up old tweets that show she used words like homegirl in several tweets. Twitter users have also explained why the use of AAVE by non-black individuals can be viewed as problematic. One person writes, "Okay, so as I said, I've seen Olivia Rodrigo getting dragged for using AAVE, what is known as African American Vernacular English. Of course, this language is owned by black people who have been made fun of for decades by white supremacists who kept telling them it's improper English. But then they did offer up a caveat that said, now I'm not saying that this is in any way okay, but what I'm saying is that all of us need to focus on actual racism and not some singer out there on a live using AAVE. By doing this, we are only going to distract ourselves online from the real world, the real issue." Which is exactly right. People on the internet can get so caught up up on a celebrity being problematic that they completely ignore larger issues at play. A number of Olivia's fans have also come to the rescue to defend their favorite star. To give some context though, here's the tweet that they are defending her on. This Twitter user reposted the cut together video of Olivia speaking and said, "Olivia Rodrigo constantly uses AAVE and it's pissing me off, the black scent." However, fans of Olivia defended her by saying, "She's not trying to do a black scent, she just talks like most of us Gen Z on the internet." But even that got some pushback from people who strongly feel that these two things are getting misconstrued. Stefan adds to their tweets regarding this controversy and said, "Of course this is very wrong, as black people have been told for centuries that AAVE is improper English, to the point where now in this decade it has become an internet language for most people, which is not alright, as whites and others will get called out and have an excuse."